All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of For the Most Part podcast, and we are meeting with a young rising artist named Chris Level, and we're just gonna talk a little bit about his experiences within the music business. So, Chris, give us a little background as to where you're from. If you play any instruments, what is your goals and game plan for the music business and what we can expect?
So, I'm a production music artist slash sync music artist, which means that I make soundtracks or music that gets placed into the backgrounds of movies, commercials, videos, games, any ads, anything like that. So, I'm a vocalist, I sing pop and urban music, and I'm working under Adelphoi Music, which is one of the best production music houses in the world. And also I'm also working with Empath Tracks, which is distributed through Sony Music Publishing, which is also one of the best libraries in the world. So I think I'm 19. There's nothing else to say. Yes.
No, well, where are you from? I'll tell the people where you're from.
I was born in Rwanda, Kigali, and Rugenge. Yeah, 2004. Yeah.
Okay, so you're a late bloomer. Because some of us are not born in 2000 and some of us are born much longer before that, way before that. But I digress. So what's your view on like musicians and performers where you're from? What is your position on producers where you're from as well?
I think they're cool people, so they get to do what they enjoy doing like anyone else, and I think it's kind of a blessing. I also curse because you need to put in the work, but I think the general music industry or the music industry of Rwanda is still stable, not that high, but still stable enough for people to enjoy making what they love to do.
Right. Okay. What are the styles of music that's up and rising in Rwanda, and what are some of the things that are becoming popular, as we would say? Because everybody talks about Afrobeats, but I'm sure that there's a lot of other different genres out there that are just as equally as popular.
Yeah, I will say that the most popular genre in Africa or even Rwanda is currently Amapiano from South Africa. So it kind of took the whole world with this. So including Rwanda. Mm-hmm. So that's the most popular genre I see many producers doing. But also we cannot forget other genres like pop, Afro pop. I mean, when people say Afrobeats, they're like making it like its own category. But there's subcategories to Afrobeats, Afro pop, Afro trap, Afro rap, things like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know much. I don't know much about Afrobeats. I just make pop music and urban music.
Okay, good. So, what do you think are some bad choices that young producers and musicians like yourself make when getting into, this kind of business with sync music and releasing stuff to the general public? What do you think what is something you think that what's a different choice people can make?
Okay, the first thing is it's not all of them, but there's some people out here that go into something not because they enjoy making it or enjoy doing it. Just they like jump into a loophole of people, among other people like what I can call Congos going Kinyarwanda, our mother tongue, or in English, just it's like people love trends.
Mm-hmm.
So music is one of those things that are trendy.
Right.
Most people love music, so there's some people who do not do music because they love doing it,
Right.
just to get pop, just to get money, just to get things like that. But I think that's kind of the first mistake I see many young people, musicians doing.
Right. Okay. So, what is the production process to how you write and create your songs? Because, I think now everybody has a bit of technology at their hands. Everybody has a laptop. Everybody has a phone. They have some. They have something that they can use to create music. What are your tools and what is your process when you're writing something?
Okay. My number one tool is my voice,
Right.
and yeah, and I'm with Kush Beats, who is one of the greatest random producers here. So like when I get a brief or like a project to work on to make soundtrack for, just go to him, and then we read the brief, what they want us to do, and then I just start chopping out lines from the brief, from the ideas of the brief, and then Coach Beats make the melody, hum to it, then start sing, mix it. I don't want to talk much about mixing and mastering because I'm not like a producer, but I just wait for a brief. That's it.
Okay, that's interesting. And like, how do you get your ideas? Because yes, your tool is your main voice, but I'm almost certain that there are certain things, certain experiences that influence your song choices. So people may not know, but Chris has some stuff released and it's on, I think, Spotify and Apple Music. We could link all that stuff in the description below. But what are some of the things that influence how you write?
Something that influenced me. I don't want it to sound cliche, but it's just the love of making music.
Okay.
That's it.
We'll accept that as an answer. So, what are some tips and tricks that you could suggest to listeners that allows them to keep making music? One, make it consistent. Two, and keep an ongoing stream of income.
Another cliche answer is that you have to put in the work. Just be consistent, because like especially in the sync licensing industry and the production music industry, to take it can take like 2 years for you to even see something.
Right.
It's not like the other industries, like you can in the music industry you can have an artist blow up in just only 2 months, but in the sync licensing industry I never heard someone who blew up like less than 2 years. So it really like takes time and consistency.
Right.
So just continue to be consistent.
Okay. Okay, so we would have spoken a bit about the genres of music that are where you're from. So kind of talk to us a little bit about some of the releases that you have out, if you have anything upcoming, and if there's somebody that you're most looking forward to working with, who would that be and why?
I don't have right now. I don't have any release or project, but you can check out my previous soundtrack, the bag soundtrack, or also known as Lose My Cool. So, but my dream collaboration will be like like production music artists and licensing artists getting together and making like one big powerful soundtrack.
Right, and who would those artists be? Like, drop some names.
From Rick Vibe Walker, he's a great artist. Jesse Josephson, Jonathan Watts, Anselm Kreiser, and other people.
All right, cool. And what advice would you give to other artists who would like to become more involved with streaming and other platforms, as well as getting into being a sync artist?
Uh, don't know much about the streaming things, but just don't know. But about the sync licensing part, you know, this business is part easy and part hard. So when you're getting into it, you like just getting your foot into the door of this industry is really easy. It's like it's the most easiest thing ever. But making it can take like 2 years at least. If you don't believe me, just do it and you see. So those are the two or the thing that I most will likely tell an artist trying to get into sync licensing or production music.
Right, and can you explain to people what is sync licensing?
Okay, for those who don't know sync licensing, it is the act of taking a song, whether it be an instrumental or a full vocal song, and getting it placed into the background of a motion picture, video game, advertising, commercial, movie, cartoon, anything. So that is what we call sync licensing.
Okay, great. And how has sync licensing been profitable to you? Because Chris and I, we've been talking for a long time, and schedules just have not really been aligning as well as I thought. But these things happen, and sometimes that's just how the business goes. Everybody's busy, and we're also dealing with a massive time difference as well. It's 3 p.m. where Chris is, and it's like 9 a.m. here in Trinidad. So we're always linking up with these artists. So how can you tell people, I mean, you don't have to go into like the specific figures, but you could give examples as to how sync licensing has been profitable to you. Is it something that people should get into? And why should people get into sync licensing?
So saying it's profitable, it's like it really depends on the person. But for me, 6 figures. Yeah. Just it's a hint. Yeah, it's a hint. So it really depends, on the hard work and the experience you have in the industry and time you've been in the industry. But you can expect to get from like 4 figures per month to like 5 figures per month.
Okay, and
It's really hard work.
What about like connections? Because the thing is, we think about making money as figures, right? And we think about success in figures. But is success strictly based on money, or is it about the connections that you have with people?
It really depends on the person, Success for me can be like connections, how much I'm valued in the industry. But for another person, it can be like money, how much they get in the bank. So it really depends on the person, actually, because people cannot have the same vision of something. So it really depends on the person. Yeah,
Right.
and it's true. There's no wrong or right answer.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, I think that's just about it for my list of questions. I think Chris answered everything that I wanted to find out. Chris, tell the people where they can find you, drop all your socials, where they can find all of your stuff, and if you have any projected dates for any content that you would like to release. I know you said you don't have anything planned right away, but I'm sure there's something in the background that you would like to get out.
Okay, so my social media handle, I really don't have like an Instagram or Facebook, but you can find me on LinkedIn, Chris Level Music. That's how I'm called on LinkedIn. So I basically post every day on LinkedIn. So if you want to have a sneak peek into my life, you can really go on LinkedIn and follow me there.
All right, cool. And where can they find your music?
Everywhere.
So Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, you name it. It's all out there. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that's it for this week's episode. Chris, thank you for joining us. We look forward to hearing more from you and seeing what else you have released to the world. And thanks for enlightening us on sync licensing. Guys, we check out Chris's links. We have some stuff somewhere about. We'll drop the links in the description below. And that's it. Like, share, comment, subscribe. And we shall see y'all and we shall hear y'all on the next one. Peace out, guys.